stuff out. Hello everybody, scientistnyne checking in, seeing how you are living. How's everybody out there doing in TV land? Sorry I'm late for class. Had to walk through all the troll shit in the digital lifestyle and the digital land to get here. So, as we are talking continuously about what we discussed last week, preceding Black History Month, we're going to go a little bit further into what we're going to be discussing today, okay? Sorry, I had to get those in, my mouth is dry. However, if anybody's listening in, go ahead and hit that live stream. You can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Instagram. You can also find us on beacons.ai/scientistnyne. Again, beacons.ai/scientistnyne. Click the subscribe button. Follow us for the latest and the greatest and everything that we talk about going into this matrix, okay? Also, make sure you subscribe and donate to the BYOB mindset, which I have been personally building upon continuously. BYOB stands for Build Your Optimal Body. Now, before we get into it, I kind of want to discuss that a little bit. BYOB specifically is dealing with not only building your body from a physical standpoint, but building a new mindset, building how you think, building a new set of discipline, and also building out a whole new lifestyle for you. Whether you're on the ground coming up or you're in the sky coming on down, it does not matter. You can always be BYOB, all right? So for today's topic, for those that are listening live on stereo, for those that are listening on YouTube, for anybody listening in on Apple or Google or anywhere else in the land, let me give you a hand today. So, last week we wanted to discuss the myths of Black History Month. I know I kind of gave a detailed explanation about Black History Month and breaking some of the myths of what we discussed, okay? Now, today we're going to go a little bit further into breaking some of those myths. And what I specifically titled this is King's Dream, King's Dream, or Dr. MLK or Dr. Martin Luther King. So King's Dream, our nightmare, all right? So you might ask, hey man, what's up with that? What's up with King's Dream and we have a nightmare? Well, for anybody out in the landscape of what we call Black America or Indigenous America or anybody who identifies as African American, a Negro, or colored, or whatever you want to fucking say you are, you have seen a shift in where we have been and where we have been and where we are going or where we are currently at, all right? So although I do like to stay positive, I also do like to give information so people can open their eyes and open their ears to what is actually going on in this matrix, all right? So for a lot of people, we have always said or always heard, especially during Black History Month, I have a dream. We've heard this time and time again. I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day little black boys and little white boys and little black girls and little white girls will one day hold hands and live together in harmony and all that other good shit, okay? Again, like I said earlier, we have been given this script. We have been fed this over and over and over. We fed it to ourselves. We feed it to our children. We even feed it again and again in the education system. We feed it again in our movies. We always feed it in every single aspect, okay? Now, one thing specifically that I say that's a nightmare for anybody who kind of understands where I'm coming from is prior to what we say integration, all right? We normally, I mean, you've had a numerous amount of Black people who have always owned their own businesses, owned their own land, owned their own hospitals, their banks, their own agriculture, their transportation, any logistical form to help a community thrive, okay? And it wasn't just in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it wasn't just in Atlanta. You have places in Florida, you have places in the Midwest, Chicago, Detroit, Gary, Indiana. You know, you've had a multitude of different places that have always given us a high multitude of what Black excellence has been, okay? Now, with that being said, prior to where people get, and I say where people, I mean everyone, where the script has been misconstrued is that black people wanted to have better access to life. That is not true. No, 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 no. So let me rewrite the script for you. The whole script comes whereas we weren't always damn sharecroppers. We weren't always indentured servants. If you listen back to the last podcast, hell, we weren't always in slavery. There were a lot of what we call free blacks or thriving blacks during a time of slavery. It wasn't just everybody was enslaved who was black. That's a misconception. Just like everybody who is black is not in fucking prison or on welfare or or anything like that. So again, everybody who was a black American was not enslaved during the time frame that slavery came into being or whatnot. Okay, so prior to the Reconstruction phase of, I believe it was 1865, and again, if you want to say Juneteenth, we did have, the Galveston, Texas, I believe it was, that was the last place that slaves were actually released because back in Texas, there were still some agricultural differences of going on, had to meet the money and all that stuff. So it was usually, I think it was like 2 years, I think it was 1867 or 1868, that the actual last plantation or last black was or slave at that time was freed, and it was back in Texas. Okay, now even during that time frame from Reconstruction on down, there were still blacks who were indentured servants or who were gifted land or who still hung around that land or still worked for the I won't say slave, we'll say slave owner or whoever the person that owned the land or plantation. There was still that stuff going on. Okay, prior to there was a migration of African Americans, those that already did not settle in the West or the Midwest, or that weren't settled in the South, or weren't coming from the Caribbean or anywhere of the islands or down from South America, Central America. We did have a mass expansion or migration for that matter. You had a lot of people go from 1865 per se up to the Midwest and up to the North. All right. Now, when I say Midwest, that is including all your states like Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, okay? Midwest, all right? Now, in that time frame, there was a lot of open land like there is till today. There is a lot of open, untouched land in those areas. So a lot of blacks that migrated in those areas constructed their own communities from that. And again, if you go back to the time frame, this wasn't the same time where if you want to go buy some land, you have to, well, it kind of is, but if you want to go buy some land and clear out, there wasn't really much regulation as far as we don't know who the hell's living up here. Technology wasn't as advanced. Well, we don't think it was advanced at that time. So during that time frame, a lot of communities were thriving. I know the coin you always hear, Tulsa, Oklahoma. So Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, you hear all that type of stuff, all right? So from that time frame, you still had a majority, okay? So again, you had a majority of African Americans or Americanized Africans or black people or Negroes or whatever, or Moors or whatever the hell you want to call them, that were not only thriving in businesses, they were also thriving in agriculture because a lot of them did learn agricultural skills. By nature, we kind of know it, but you got it refined working in the plantations. On top of that, some did know how to read and write because they were educated in that time frame. There were people who were preachers who were educated, okay, that also could read and write. So those people also continued to not only lead the community, but they also grew the community as well. You had your own law order systems that were going in there. And in the same token, money, like I say to this day, does not care what color you are. Money is green, and they don't get money. I'm going to say this again, whether it's digital currency or it's paper money or it's a damn check, does not give a fuck what race, color, creed, or religion, sexual orientation that you are. Money only wants to be circulated and expand, okay? I know people may not grasp that concept, but money is not fucking racist. People who utilize money can be racist, okay? Money just gets circulated, invested, spent, wasted, whatever you want to say, It's indifferent to anybody that uses it in any country, any landmass, of any mindset, of any gender, of anything. Okay, so during that time frame, the people of that time frame had the notion that we are going to take the money that we generate, not only from our own community, but reinvest in this community. Now, what do I mean by reinvestment? If you are a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you deem yourself, if you generate your own money, okay, you don't make your own money. No one here makes money. Let's put it, unless you are the Federal Reserve or you own your own fucking minting company, you don't make money. Okay, this ain't Fallout. This is not the end of the apocalypse where we're taking bottle caps and making money. No one here, or you don't live in your own community. Unless you do now, unless you live in your own community, have your own sovereignty, your own form of currency, you don't make no fucking money. All right, let's play along with semantics here. You don't make money. You earn money. You either earn money, you are given money, you are granted money, you are loaned money. All right, in the form of cash, check, credit, whatever you want to say. All right. Now, again, during that time frame between 1865, we'll say on up until about when I said Carter G. Woodson made Negro History Week in 1926, excuse me, 1926. We had thriving communities. Now, why is it that Black people, or African Americans during that time between 1865 and 1926, who were so-called enslaved, illiterate, and could do nothing but grow, have thriving communities? I know it sounds kind of crazy, right? Now, again, back to the notion I said earlier, there were free Blacks, or what we call free Blacks at that time, that lived in the Americas or the United States for what it was at that time. So they did also add an addition to contributing to building out some of these communities, okay? Everybody that was Black wasn't a fucking slave. I know they want you to think that, but that is a damn lie. We will go through the history and the encyclopedia, and we can look at the records of when not only Christopher Columbus and the Mayflower landed here and saw people of darker complexion and of Moorish-like features. If you want to go into Moorish-like features, those were the group of Africans, we say, that ruled between, really say 1300, but we'll say 1400s to the 1700s in Europe. Okay, that's what we were called at that time frame. So people of that complexion, of Moorish complexion, okay, or let alone Black people, they had their own stuff. They made their own communities. Okay, we generated our own money. We invested our own money. We circulated our own money. So if any community, when I say community now, let me give a description of what a community is. All right. A community is somewhere or something or some place or landmass that not only has its own educational system, distribution center, agricultural center, grocery stores, meaning they are able to distribute the food, medical facilities, what do you call it? Transportation, and I think it was the last one that they need. Pretty much, you have those things. Banking, there we go. Your own banking system in this standpoint. That is a community, okay? And within that community, for example, let's just say that you have a community in Atlanta, okay? We'll just use that per se, Atlanta, or any major city. Let's say it's a community. Just work with me here. Anybody that lives in the Atlanta community, everything that they pay, their taxes, their again, medical, transportation, banking, financial, everything goes back into circulating to build Atlanta back up so the community thrives. All right, that is a community. You have several communities: Black, white, Jewish, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, Eastern European, Indian, Arabic, whatever you want to say. You have a multitude of communities in America and throughout the world, okay? Meaning that regardless if they are the same race of people or they are a mixed race of people or, integrated or whatnot, they still go into building that community, all right? That is a difference between a fucking neighborhood, all right? We get neighborhoods and communities intertwined. It is not the same thing. A neighborhood is somewhere where people just reside and they have the faculty given to them and they don't contribute to anything financially and when I mean financially, the people or the governments around that neighborhood to building that neighborhood up. That's why you see a lot of neighborhoods go down, or they may have HOAs that try to contribute to helping out the community or helping that subdivision out. But a neighborhood or historic neighborhoods are generally areas of which people resided at. All right, meaning a group of people just reside here. That doesn't mean they're contributing to growing this place or expanding this place or anything going back into building that place out. All right. Now, back in the day, and again, I use Atlanta as an example. You had several different historic neighborhoods that actually were thriving during that time frame. But again, those were more community based at the time. For example, you had Pittsburgh, uh, Atlanta historic neighborhood. You have Mechanicsville. You have West End over at Grant Park. This is named for Oaksville, I believe it is. Vine City. So you do have a lot of different neighborhoods or Atlanta historic neighborhoods during that time frame that were thriving for Black people. All right. So you're asking me, where the fuck does all this go, scientist? Well, let me tell you. I made the playing field, or I made the platform, understanding me so that during that time frame, Black people had their own shit. All right, point blank. We had our own shit. We generated our own shit. We distributed ourselves. We thrived our own communities. Now, again, the notion I made earlier is we talk about money. Money is not racist. The motherfuckers who control money is racist. Money is just a tool to be used. That's why thriving communities back then that were Black were thriving, because they use money to thrive their own community. All right? I know it sounds fucking funny, but that's what it was. So we move on to 1926, Negro History Week, and although in certain areas that were not our own, we experienced, again, a level of racism, discrimination, and what else was I trying to say? Prejudice, all right, and separation. That was mainly not our communities, okay? I know I said that earlier. That wasn't our communities, all right? Those are neighborhoods or government controlled places, all right? So again, if it's not a community, it's a fucking neighborhood. So if you don't control something, back to whether community or wherever you live or land or whatever or business, if you don't control it, you may not own it, but ownership and controlling kind of are one and the same thing, depending on how you look at it from a standpoint of finances or EIN or whatever you want to say. If you don't control this shit, let alone own it, you don't control the shit. All right. Anybody can tell you get the fuck out of here. Anybody can tell you to get the hell out, or they can tell you to, whatever they want to. They do whatever they want to with it. All right. So although we have experienced racism and other several different, we could say, burning down of places. I know we use Oklahoma as a lot, stuff, Black Wall Street, but one place I would like to coin, well, two places actually, is I'm sure, or I'm not sure if you may have heard of, what's the place called? Rosewood, Florida, okay? Now, if you haven't seen that movie, Rosewood, Florida, I think it was 1926, it might be 1926 too, or it was either 1926, 1927, or 1928. It was very early 20s, okay, in the 1900s, that you had a thriving community of Black people down there. Again, same thing as I said earlier. However, there was some instances where there was racist and, a white woman accused a Black man of raping her. And to make a long story, Jesse Hunter it was, to make a long story short, they came down and burnt the fucking town to the ground. There was very few survivors of that shit, okay? We see this happen over and over and over on several communities that were deemed Black, across the nation, primarily in the South and in the Midwest. You had some happen in the North, but out West, you really didn't have that happen because there wasn't, I won't say there wasn't that many people out there moving, but out West at that time, there were more people out there expanding and growing. Of course, not only looking for gold, but they were looking for new opportunities that was more away from the centralized American government. Now, that's not to say that people did not experience racism, prejudice, or discrimination later on down that line, because again, we can get down to the Watts riots and all that type of stuff. But however, prior to, it was mainly in the South. The South was the epicenter of a lot of racist stuff and a lot of different prejudice and discrimination fights. Okay, believe it or not, although the South is the epicenter, it really was the Midwest. Okay, the Midwest was really the hot spot of where the shit was really going down and bumping and grinding, all you want to say, that type of stuff. Okay, but as I was saying, and get into the notion of what the title stands for, we have King's Dream. Now, we can just go ahead and say between 1950, between 1970. Okay, I know he got shot in 1968. We had a lot of assassinations happen. 68, Malcolm X, I think, got killed in 65. You had JFK that got killed. You had Robert Kennedy got killed. So you had a lot of different prominent people who were trying to not only bridge the gap of not only helping black people out, but bridging everybody out that got shot and gunned the fuck down, you know. But that was a very hotspot time during that time. And we also not only had that, you had the Korean War going on. You also had the Vietnam War going on. And you had a lot of different protests in the Cuban War, the Cuban Missile Crisis go on, as well as the Cold War. So there was a lot of shit going on in America or the world at that time. Like now, believe it or not. There's just a lot of shit going on, okay? So for the blacks or the African Americans or anybody for that time frame who wanted to coin themselves or identify as black or African American or Moorish or indigenous or whatever the fuck people call themselves nowadays, we wanted to have equality in our life, okay? And I'm saying equality in a sense of equal treatment under the law, all right? That is civil. And that's just civil in mindset. So I'm going to play along with words here. Okay, so everything in words or meaning have meaning to the words that they say. So there was black people, especially during the South, wanted equal treatment. Okay, the law still existed. And I understand we can get into the 13, 14, 15 amendment where 3/5 of man wasn't altered and all that shit. We got all that. That's not the time for this conversation right now. But we're talking about expressing equal treatment under the law for these excuse me, not civilians. Well, we can say civilians or citizens for that matter. Now, although we had the rights to do it, they were not expressed or exercised equally amongst us, okay? That's why you had a lot of different things, as segregation go on, all right? You had a lot of different things like separation go on. You had different schools, again, going forward to communities and or neighborhoods. Now, although in communities, they had their own, they still had separation amongst the neighborhoods, okay? So let's say you stayed in Atlanta, or let's say you stayed in New York, or let's say you stayed in the Midwest, or anywhere amongst the South, Northeast, or Midwest. There was a lot of separation between communities and neighborhoods under the United States. Now, again, like I said earlier, although, you did have a group of people burn down fucking cities for black people because they were jealous of the shit thriving and they weren't getting the same type of financial benefit from their own shitty communities, there were still communities thriving during that time frame that were separate. All right. So people live in the city that were not living in these communities didn't want to get told to go to the fucking back of the bus. They didn't want to get, told go eat around the goddamn corner. You didn't want to get told to go shit in the goddamn outhouse 5 miles away from from wherever you want to go. So yes, some of the shit was just flat out inconvenient. It was like, treat me like a fucking human. All right. So that's where the civil rights movement basically came up. And it came up under a lot of different notions, came up with a lot of different things, assassinations, whatever you want to say, lynchings that happened. And we had I would say, a guy named Dr. King. Now, for the purpose of this conversation, we're not going to get very esoteric behind it and the hidden meanings behind the stuff that he did and what he really did to an extent. However, though, he was the forefront of what we deem as what was the best word we can describe this? What we deem him as, well, the people now, even not deem him as a savior of what integration looks like, what equal treatment looks like. I have a dream. You have the King Center down in Atlanta, and I'm not saying that the work that he did or did not do was not right or wrong. However, a lot of the work that was said, again, I did not live during that time frame, but I'm only repeating what I heard, okay, or what I've seen for myself or learned or read about. All right. So what it was described as, his mentor or a few of his mentors, one of them described that he used Gandhi's treatment or Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent. Okay. So as in earlier from my last podcast, I said one myth of Black history that I always teach you about is being content with the struggle, being content basically with getting your ass kicked, being content with, turn the other cheek and all this stuff. That mindset, which it has its place, but in the time frame, it did not have its place. It didn't. But whatever, right? Opinion, subjective. What do you want to say? So he pretty much pushed the nonviolent protests and the marching, the sit-ins, which till the day we have seen a lot of protesting. All right, has that changed anything? I'm waiting. Has it changed? Have you seen one protest change anything? We had protest after protest after protest, marching, screaming, I'm man, and you do have a group of people who still get treated the same fucking way. So that nonviolent shit, I'm just gonna subjectively say that shit doesn't work. It fucking doesn't. All right, it doesn't. It worked for a time frame during that time frame, but it don't work in this time frame. All right, so he still pushed all this stuff. And before he was killed, he kind of changed up the script a little bit because, I mean, he knew what time it was. He knew what the fuck was going on. And again, we talk about the one thing that I said earlier that is not racist. He talked about money. This money, like I said, is being controlled by people who are racist or other organizations who may be racist or discriminatory or whatever. So when he started to talk that people are getting money from this entity to get this, and you all need to do this shit and this, that, and the third, and he started going against what he was known to preach for, what he was known to really push, yeah, he got fucking whacked. I mean, point blank. That's pretty much what happened. Okay, he pretty much got he got knocked off. All right. But his method still, or his not method, well, his method too, but his message still continued to be scripted and pushed to us that, everybody's equal under the law, no discrimination, we all can live together integrational wise, right? Now, this happened, we'll just say, moving forward, I know he was killed in 68, but let's move forward till 1970, all right? Now, when we say 1970, and it's going to go into King's Dream, but our nightmare. In 1970, and I know this from I say personal experience that, my grandfather, my dad's father, he had his own auto body shop, right? And again, the Midwest, Gary, Indiana, which was a prominent Black town, East Chicago, especially for the factories, steel mills, everything. During that time frame, that whole city had its own economic funding, backing, whatever you want to say, okay? During that time frame, from when they had the civil rights and all that type of stuff, they were still thriving. When integration happened, that's when the downfall started to come, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? We'll get into what that actually means, but for those listening, we want to thank you all for tuning in to Kush Podcast, How You Living Show with Scientist Nyne, the Sage, aka the Jock. Welcome to the other side. So we're going to get into some of these messages that our nice, beautiful people have left us so we can listen in and actually probably answer or actually just give our opinion about what they're saying. So hopefully we can hear this.
Hey, salutations, great awakenings, and great afternoon. If it's like that where you at. Salutations to brother Scientist Nyne. This is to rock. King's Dream, Our Nightmare. You got that right. Whenever I'm dropping something about the bullshit we're in, how people are going through, I always hear the Saltines come in and say, Dr. King would be ashamed of you, or somebody else will be ashamed of me. And when I drop in, well, have you seen that last video that King did before he got smoked? When he was talking about how everybody's getting their check, and now we're coming to get our check.
See, just said that. Said that.
And then they get silent. They seen that video. They just they're so comfortable and they love the way it is, and they don't ever want the system to crash. But this bitch is crashing, and when these three sons fucking act up, what the fuck they gonna do?
Absolutely. Tarab, we appreciate that compliment or that comment you put in. And you see what he said prior to me even getting to the point. As I was talking, he left a message that, has anybody ever seen that even video where he was talking about the money and that happened magically before he got killed? You know, I think that was like the speech before he talked about going to the mountaintop. It was one of those speeches, or it might have been the same speech. But the point I'm making is they don't often show that video. You have to go find it. They always put the same thing. I have a dream. Him speaking on the national monument. You know, raising the hand. You know, shaking people's head. And he got killed, and they use him as the image that, hey, we need integration. Y'all need to live together in peace, but still get fucked.
Salutations to brother Scientist Nyne. This is Tarak. To be earnest, even though I can't stand the system, you know, I'm not comfortable in it. How can I say? I could be if I choose to be. A lot of our people are so comfortable, they've changed into them.
Yeah.
Straighten their hair to be like them. And even try to convince you to talk like them and talk better than them, and this is their language. Dress better than them. This is some wild shit. These are the type of talks and chats. It should be 15, 20 plus up in here.
Yeah.
But I reckon it feels about celebrity gossip or some bullshit or fucking and fighting, you know.
Yeah.
What trauma is done, it'll be legit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, when it comes to actually talking about anything that actually has any sense to it, we talk a lot about the Matrix and stuff, and a lot of people are. Morpheus said it best in 1999. The Matrix. If you haven't watched it, go listen to it. That so people are innate to the system, so in tune and plugged that they don't even know they're fighting against you. That they will fight against you. You come talk some knowledge to them. So you know that you definitely hit the nail on the head on that one, brother Tarak.
Hey, I concur with everything that you're saying. I don't know no co-signing on no dick riding shit, because the things that you were saying, I've researched this and come across the same info.
Yes.
And came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
And I've always heard, all you blacks in America came from Africa. Bullshit.
Yeah. Thank you.
A lot of our people was already the fuck up over here.
Thank you.
No, you wasn't, motherfucker. You the one that wasn't up over here.
Thank you.
You know, our people will cross some rivers to go from state to state or whatever. Wow, they came across a whole fucking ocean. Ain't that a bitch?
Now, again, I said this earlier in my last comment. My last podcast show, that Carter G. Woodson made Negro History Week to talk about the actual achievements of African Americans or blacks across the world. Now, we talk a little bit of history where we were not just, it wasn't just 1619 where Portugal came down to West Africa and took us all in. And no, I'm sorry. That may have been part of the history, but it ain't the whole fucking story, all right? It's just like, think of one black family, okay? That one black family, are they the only black family that had that everything happens to them is all history? No, it's not. There are several black families that are, yeah, you can say from the famed genetic pool family tree or whatever you want to say, but everybody did not get put in chains and fucking came from the slaves and all that stuff. No, that did not happen. Believe it or not, there were already black people in the Caribbean prior to them even going to Caribbean. I know it sounds crazy, right? In Haiti, in Cuba, Puerto Rico, or what they call Puerto Rico at that time frame, you know, all down there in the Bahamas, all that. We were already over here. When you want to say Christopher Columbus came and he saw people that had Negro features, if you want to go read the book called They Came Before Columbus, we were already fucking over here. We did not go, not all of us, or some of our lineage, not all of our lineage came over here in fucking chains. I'm sorry, it did not, that's impossible. It is physically impossible at that time frame to put so many millions of people on fucking boats after millions have died, you could say, to come over here, and we've been over here and we generated probably all the numbers we didn't know. It wasn't happening. It didn't happen like that. Not entirely. All right.
Hey, brother, Scientist9, this is Tarak. The funny part about this is when I nail shit, and I hear some of the many saltines say, well, you blacks, you enslaved your own people.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That dumb shit.
I say, wait a minute, now you know the difference, right? You know the difference is my people so-called enslaving their own people. They were extended family member, like a maid or a butler, right?
Yeah.
But exactly. Over here is where it became grotesque.
Yes.
You know, anyone can look this up. They made clothes, they made shoes, pants, and shirts, and hats, and purses, and they made clothes and furniture pieces out of our people's skin.
Yeah, exactly.
Ashtrays.
Exactly.
This is sickening. They don't want to talk about that.
They don't.
How they ate us. They still eating us today.
They are.
We're the people burgers. Used as sacrificial lambs.
Yeah, and I do appreciate Brother Tarot coming in here, in the other side in the lab, chopping it up. Yes, the difference between slavery, because they know they always use that shit for deflection. That people say yes, everybody fucking enslaved everybody, their own culture. Vikings enslaved Vikings. English enslaved English, Africans enslaved Africans, Arabic enslaved Arabics, Asians enslaved Asians. It was a form of either punishment or a way to pay back a debt. Okay, but again, as far as a slave goes, slaves were not. Everybody wasn't getting their ass with a damn slave. A slave was, like you said, at that time frame, you are serving as a butler. Yes, although we use the word slave, you are not as high in ranking, or you are subservient to my dealing of what you are. For example, like if I had let's say, for example, if I got sisters, but let's say I had a brother, right? And I know you say biblical times or whatnot. Let's say that he was indebted to me. He couldn't pay me back or whatever it was. So I would say, well, you know what? You're going to be in servitude or indentured servant, or KKA a slave for me. You're going to work so many days or months or years until this debt is paid off. But no, I'm not beating your ass. I'm not fucking killing you. I'm not whipping you. I'm not doing all that type of stuff. But you are just working for me in a sense. Now, yes, you will have a chain of command, However, though, we're not doing, like you said, the grotesque mannerisms that was impressed upon our people at that time.
Salutations to the brother scientist, man. This is Tarot. Whenever our people come with something, there was many Black Wall Streets. Yes. More than 4 for sure.
Exactly.
Whenever we come up with shit, they always fuck us over.
Always.
They bogart our shit.
Yes.
Still to this day, we come with creations, so they come with this damn patent shit. Put a patent on everything.
Exactly.
If all of our people were, when we go to sleep, say these saltines, they wake up one day and we're all fucking gone. We just vanished out of thin air.
Oh no,
they're gonna want to know where the fuck we went, so they can come
exactly
and follow us and troll us. And they'll still let us say, nigga, if they all woke up and we wasn't here no more, they'll say it, but it'll die out because it wouldn't be the same. So then they'd have to admit that they were saying the shit to fuck with us. How nigga resting is this here?
That's actually a profound statement. That would they even say that word if we were around? Think about that now. Would anybody even use the word nigga in the first place if there was no black people in this landmass, let alone country, let alone hemisphere, let alone planet? Would anybody even use that word? Like, think black people around, how the fuck would blackface be funny? I'm saying, how would it be funny? So if there was no black people around, I know, and we use a term back in the damn day, they said niggas or whatever was the term for kings or spiritual whatever. Yeah, we got that. So again, like he said earlier, there you saying it to fuck with us. So if we weren't around, how could you use that term if it didn't have any meaning to it? Interesting point, though. Appreciate that, brother Tarot. Last statement.
Salutations to scientists, man. This is Tarot. Thinking of Rosewood got me also thinking about so-called Lake Lanier.
Oh, yes. I forgot to say that. I forgot to mention Lanier. We'll get to that.
City of our people.
Yes.
And it was saltines. They got envious. Not only killed our people, they flooded the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And was once a prominent city, is now a lake.
A lake.
Called Lake Lanier.
Lake Lanier.
They even dropped a movie on Apple Plus recently, and it's called Lanier. And I reckon some saltines are living in the cabins or in the city that surrounds Lake Lanier.
Yeah.
Something like that. And the souls or the spirits of the brothers and sisters that's at the bottom of Lake Lanier, they've been torturing and killing the motherfuckers. So I'm waiting to see it online.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Clearance is really ruffling their feathers up.
Oh yeah.
Racism don't exist until they see the motherfucker looks like us.
Pretty much. I appreciate that, brother Tarot, for you coming in and saying that, all that stuff. I really do appreciate that. Definitely I give a shout out to that brother, man. for everything he said. And let me just send him a message, for first thing. Oh, hey, good brother. Let me see. But see, I appreciate people coming in and actually saying, not talking bullshit, commenting on your messages, and I appreciate the knowledge and the discussion to having with a like-minded. Great comments. Yeah, I just definitely had to to talk that good brother or whatnot. But no, he did make a good point where he was saying that, as I was saying, Rosewood, we got back to the whole, I got off track a little bit, but Lake Lanier, I believe it was called Oaksville at the time. And if we even go back to that, again, King's, dream or nightmare. I'm not exactly sure when it happened. Now, I'm not going to give you any knowledge again. We had to do our research on this, but we still happened between that time frame, probably like around Rosewood time frame, maybe early 30s or 20s or whatnot. And I think it was around the 30s or 20s that it happened. Same process. You had individual get killed, black people, and then again when those group of people, they go ape shit or the berserk, as we say, like the Vikings, they go berserk and they raided and they destroyed the land. Again, they didn't find anything useful for it, so again, they built reservoirs to flood the land out. Now, over the course of time, especially over the last 5 years, no, excuse me, 7 years, if I remember the statistics correctly, you had at least over, I believe it's 250 drownings, or I think it's about 200 drownings in the last 7 years in Lake Lanier. Now, again, I'm only repeating what I believe I heard when I listened to the radio. I don't know the whole true statistics on that because, again, people are still dying over there. But primarily, when you look at the statistics, it is people of, non-colored complexion that are dying, okay? Like he dropped in the knowledge, there were people, they made a movie over it. And yes, a lot of people don't understand the spirit world. They think a lot of stuff is just read the Bible and oh, you're good, you're protected. No, 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 no. The spirit doesn't work like that. The spirit, there is spiritual practices that they are put in the Bible, but everything is not put in there. But the one thing that's put in there is, especially when it comes to a certain thing, thou shalt reap what thou soweth. So yes, if you kill some fucking body, again, especially not out of damn self-protection or self-defense, you're just killing just out of just needless slaughter, that shit is going to come back on you. Like, I don't give a fuck what no one damn says. I don't give a fuck how many times you pray and how many times you ask Jesus for forgiveness or whatever savior you want to call. That shit is coming back on you, or it's going to come on your children, or it's coming down that lineage some damn time. Because the spirit is what actually rules this so-called image or this matrix we believe in the first place, all right? So, for that matter, yes, if you don't know anything about Lake Lanier or anything about Rosewood, definitely go look into those communities that were primarily or predominantly black people, or people of indigenous or Moorish people, or whatever you want to say, African Americans, okay? Same thing happened. They were, that community that was thriving was destroyed for no apparent reason. So after all these communities were destroyed physically and economically, and we did this after integration or King got killed, we still do not see many. I'm not saying we don't see any, but we don't see many thriving black communities, let alone black neighborhoods in the South, in the Midwest, in the North, or out West, or primarily anywhere. Even in other countries, we may see certain areas, and again, I'm only knowing what I see and what I look for, but there are thriving communities out there. I'm not going to say that there isn't, because there are. you know and the media is a powerful connection, a powerful conduit that can show you what they want to show you. So there are thriving communities out there. However, though, working in Pittsburgh community down in Atlanta and driving around what we call so-called the hood or certain parts of the county in Metro Atlanta, yes, everything ain't thriving. Some things are thriving, but in a negative way. If you look at after integration, or even as I was a child back in the day, you did see a lot of different black communities that were they were pretty decent. They had their churches, they had their banks, they had whatever. Although it was after integration, they were still doing okay because again, it's almost like if you get hit with a knife and you're bleeding, you're not going to feel the damage of that gash until you're almost bled out completely and you're dying, you know. So that's what was happening to a lot of communities. They were gashed after integration, and again you start to see them dying, and they're dying now. And what do they call it? Gentrification or revitalization of when they try to revitalize these areas that were killed off. Like you can go to Pittsburgh today. Yeah, they have programs to get people back, you know, people that lived in the area or get cheaper rent or whatever not, but they're not as prominent as what you're led to believe. You know, again, any old person or any old black can get on television and say, yes, we're doing this for community, we want to help our people, but you're not really doing shit with the money because it's part of a goddamn script that you got to do just to show people that you give a shit in the first place. And I say that to say this, for example, back in when the governorship was going on in Atlanta, or you had when Joe Biden got put in office, which this motherfucker clearly said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And look what the fuck he's been doing with the damn money. Your taxpayer money, white and black, and everybody in America. He gives a shit to a whole nother country, you know, but another conversation for another time. Reverend Warnock, right? He was down in Clayton County. And if anybody doesn't know anything about Clayton County in Atlanta, Clayton County actually is not a bad county for land, say, but Clayton County is not, is I'm not gonna say it's predominantly full of crime, but it's not one of the premier counties in metro Atlanta, okay? Um, One of the premier counties, I mean, if you say premier counties, you can't even say Fulton County for that matter because there's too many divisions in Fulton County, whereas you have South Fulton County and you have North Fulton County, okay? So with that being said, they had Reverend Warnock, right? He was placed in office, and again, and I know people get upset, mainly black people get upset when you say Democratic Party, but they're two sides of the same coin, okay? Republican, Democrat, two sides of the same fucking coin. However, though, most of the time, if you play a game, you want to flip the coin, we always call heads. Heads always looked at as good. Heads always look good and tails is bad. Think of that like when it comes to the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. They're still the same fucking coin, but one party is deemed a little better than the other one. So, Reverend Warnock, again, the Democrat, or Democratic Party is down in Clayton County. And I said earlier, Clayton County is not one of the premier counties in Metro Atlanta. And I'm not saying it's full of niggas. I know we use that term. Brother Dry, I appreciate you coming in earlier and saying that. You made a good point earlier, saying that if we weren't around, could you even use the word nigga? We can. I mean, we say it, but no one else can even say that word if we're not around. But moving along, you have a group of underprivileged black people there, or people who are conditioned. I'm going to say that again. You have underprivileged, or people who are conditioned to believe a script that they got to live that way down there. So they give them a bullshit commerce. They give them no real good food down there. No permanent grocery system store, excuse me. No good hospitals, no good education, and you expect somebody to actually thrive in that area when they are miseducated in the first place. That's not gonna happen. If I give a motherfucker money and I don't tell you how to save or invest it, you're going to spend the shit up. If I give you cheap ass food, you're not gonna learn how to actually grow your own food and actually eat healthy. If I give you some same bullshit, you know, if I give you access to bad medical thing, and all I put in front of you is dialysis centers, and all I put in front of you is what do you call them? Abortion clinics, and all I put in front of you is urgent care that doesn't do anything for you, pharmacies that put drugs in your neighborhood to kill you with their medication, then primarily you're going to be a shit county. And then I know people hate to hear this, but Democratic parties always do that shit, right? Or they're perpetuating that. So Reverend Warnock came in here, pulled the raised black card, which again, we go back to King's dream and our nightmare, where it's always a black face that's told to put us down. No, it's always a black face that's putting us down. Because again, cancer is stronger than the fucking common flu or the common cold. Now, what do you mean by that, scientist? Well, let me explain. You can get the damn common cold, but what can you do with the common cold? Take some vitamins, go exercise, sweat the shit out, bam, it's done. It's something that's invasive, but your body has a way to fight off because your body does not recognize it, all right? Now, let's say this in a standpoint of political system when it comes to black people. It's almost like cancer. If I'm a fucking person that is telling you, hey, forgive your oppressor, let him beat your ass, but pray for him, and this is okay, and blah, 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 and you believe me because of I look like you, then primarily, then you're gonna let the damn behavior continue and perpetuate itself. And that is cancerous. Just like a cancer cell, your body does not recognize it for being harmful. It can, but understand this, it has to recognize it as harmful first. We have not recognized the harmful cells in our community or in our neighborhoods or even in our people because we're so an opponent that, oh, we're all one together and we need to help each other out, which I do understand the message and the creed. But every fucking goddamn cell in your body is not good. That's why certain cells die off and are removed from your body, okay? Whether it be a skin cell, muscle cell, brain cell, waste cell, you piss it out, you shit it out, you sweat it out. The same thing goes for the community. We have to understand that every fucking cell is not good for us, especially the cells that come and tell us, hey, continue this behavior. Hey, let's continue King's dream and understand that you are good to go. Integration is good. No, it's not. Because like I said earlier, ladies and gentlemen in TV land listening out there, that my grandfather, he lived in Gary, Indiana at the time, and this was again the 70s and 80s. He had his own auto body shop. And after integration happened, it started to die out because what were we damn told? We want equal treatment and all the like I said, it was like a gash to us. And when you get gashed, you can bleed out. But you don't feel the effects of bleeding out until you damn near almost bled out. And that's when you're dying. And that's what happened. If anybody type in Gary, Indiana till this day, I drove up there to go visit my grandparents' gravesite just a few years back. And it brought tears in my eyes because as a child I grew up, it wasn't the same as it was my followers around there, my uncles. And Michael Jackson from Gary, Indiana too. However, it was a fucking ghost town to the point that it was so damn desolate that you could not even find a store. You couldn't find no restaurant. It was really a ghost town, and it was sad because again, King's dream, our nightmare. And it being one of the most prominent cities at that time in East Chicago with the steel mill going on. But when integration take on, what happened? People started to move away from their communities. They moved out into the community, into neighborhoods. Okay. And when I'm saying neighborhoods, like I said earlier in the statement, neighborhoods are just controlled by the entity that controls them. A community is controlled by the people that live in that landmass or that area. And we have given up our communities. And I'm not saying that you have other thriving neighborhoods or other thriving communities, but a lot of black people, from what I'm seeing, we ain't got that shit. Like I said, in Clayton County, you drive down there now, or DeKalb County, or South Fulton County, or parts of fucking Douglas County, anybody in any point of this fucking nation, and I'm not talking about any black people with any other landmass. We're talking about America specifically. Any black person, whether you live in a neighborhood or damn not, if you say black neighborhood, what's the first thing that comes to fucking mind? Chicken joints, ribs, rims, nail salons, cell phone, check cash in place. You may get a Dollar Tree or a fucking what do you call them damn thing? A Dollar General every now and then. You'll get what's some damn places called? I can't think of it right now. A liquor store. You get plenty of those, and you'll get about 15 churches, literally all smack dab together. So what they're telling you is, kill yourself with the food we give you. We don't give you no fresh extra food. Go ahead and drug yourself to death with the drugstores and the dialysis we put in there. Make your car look nice, because that's the only thing you niggas care about in the first goddamn place. Make your hair and your nails look nice, because that's the only thing you niggas care about in the first place, looking good. You don't really damn work at, and buy these cheap goods for access, whether it be a Walmart or Dollar General. And then best way, if you're suffering, go pray the shit out. God got you after you damn die. So you understand how that script has really been fucking us? Because we believed King's dream, but it's our nightmare now. I just want people just to really understand that. But we got some message from Brother Trot. Let's go ahead and listen in to them.
Salutations to you, brother.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
For sure, you got that 9 up in there. That 9 is the highest single digit. You can pluck one of your coiled, as we say, dry, snappy, nappy dugout hairs. Just go coil into a 9. It's how about this. The 9 always adds up to itself. 9 times 9, 81. There you go. 9 times 8, 72. Another 9.
Yep.
6 times 6, 36. 5 times. What 9 is 45.
45.
6
yep.
times 9, 54. It goes on and on and on.
Yep.
You know, and there's always a super coon out there.
Oh, always.
That's being paid because they're getting some extra work.
Always.
God, we'll give you some extra trinkets. You go and you fuck everything up. You throw a wrench, you throw a monkey up in the wrench and you fuck it up. Boy, we'll pay you good.
Always.
You know, if we don't, we're going to let your people know that you told on them. But they're going to let them know that regardless.
Always. Always, always, always.
What a very nigger-resting age that we're in right now. This is the age of truth.
It is, and before I get to your next comment, you know, I know that a lot of us, you know, people out there, you know, whether we want to say you're awake, sleep, or whatnot, I know a lot of people have seen the podcast with Cat Williams, and we've seen what happened in the Grammys when Jay-Z said, you know, a lot of people don't belong here or belong in this arena or whatnot. I think that's what he said, something close to that. But understand, although they're saying that, part of them, they're part of the problem too. I know people may disagree with me on that, but they're part of the problem too. But yes, they're still shedding light on this stuff to an extent. But you do always have, again, some coon out there, or you have some Sambo or whatever, Uncle Tom, that always comes out and always tells somebody to say, do this, do this, do this, and, you know, do this. And if you do this, this will happen. Or if you don't do this, this is the consequence that's not happening. And I think when people start to understand that you're being played and you're reading a bad fucking script, that y'all wake the fuck up, you know?
Hey, brother, what's this shit? Revelations, which means they're revealing. Everybody's revealing who they really are and what they're really about, what they really want, and what they really need.
Yeah.
And a lot of motherfuckers are being exposed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of our brothers that are Freemasons / Enshriners. There's a lot of sisters that are Eastern Stars.
Yeah.
Because when I came across researching and found out that Trayvon Martin was a sacrificial lamb because his daddy's a damn Shriner and a Freemason, fucked me up. When I found out that sister Kendra Jenkins, that her mama is a fucking Eastern Star, I'm like, wow. These niggas, I mean... mental slavery, I see a lot of our people, we still got the chains on us, but the celebrities and the Freemasons and the Eastern Stars, they just got gold chains around their neck.
Yeah.
Spiritually. So, and they just want to sit at the table with these motherfuckers. Ain't that sickening? Butler-made niggas.
And you see exactly, we're on the same vibration because... You know, Brother Charles just said the same exact thing, that you have celebrities out here. Not only are they involved in, you know, Freemason, and again, and I'll say this for myself, you know, I am part of the Divine Nine, Omega Psi Phi, and I'm not saying that there's nothing right in this inception or wrong in this inception, you know, and there are people who are probably Freemasons and stars, but again, it's what the knowledge, what you do with that knowledge, you know, like you can be a fucking trained assassin, but that don't mean you're out here killing people, you know? And if you're out here taking the knowledge you're given, whether for good or for bad, that actually shows that the level of integrity or spiritual awareness or whatever you're doing is either right or wrong in your own spirit. And like he said earlier, a lot of people, some of us at the so-called, when we say lower level or the echelon, I mean that in a financial standpoint. We're not the celebrities, or we're not sitting with those people up there, but the celebrities who have the money, or the entertainers or the musers of the people, you know, they get paid a lot. You know why? Because they're paid to entertain and keep people asleep and distracted with certain things, right? And some of them do it because they just want the money. Some people do it because they have shit on their damn neck, or they're getting exposed because they did this. And again, you also have people, like you said earlier, who are sacrificing their damn loved ones just to get an extra damn dollar. You know, and it's actually sick that people would damn do that. But that just shows that, you know, I'm not one to say that, you know, if you want to have money, in a sense, because you want to live a decent lifestyle, You know, you don't have to worry about poverty. You don't have to worry about not paying your bills on damn time, but you actually make a decent lifestyle of helping somebody or providing a service to somebody or providing a service to your community and putting that money back in your community to generate it. I'm all for that. I am all fucking for that. I'm all for that. I am all for that. Be a good goddamn person. Again, do not let money be your master, but you're the master of your money. That's a spiritual thing, right? What I mean by that is whatever money you take, you're actually investing it not only in yourself, but actually to grow yourself and to grow your community and your family. That is what you should be damn doing. You don't let, oh, I need to make $100 million because I feel good because I got $100 million in my damn bank and fuck everybody else and look at the gold I wear, look at the cars I drive, look at this. Yes, if you want to drive nice shit, if you want to wear nice shit, absolutely fine. But that's not what I do it for. I do it because I want to see not only myself thrive, I want to see those around me thrive. That's how money, again, is an energy. That's how it should be used. But you have a lot of celebrities using it just to give you a mindset that this is what life is like. But they're selling their goddamn souls and their physical mindset and their behaviors just to get an extra goddamn dollar. You know, and unfortunately, I mean, it's not just black people doing this, but you do have a lot of art entertainers who do this. And what did I say earlier? The cancer, we see a lot of our people or our same sales doing this shit, and we try to emulate it, and we end up either killing ourselves trying to do it, or we end up being killed by the lifestyle by trying to pursue it, or we end up killing our damn self because we get depressed because we can't fucking damn do it. You know, so like I said, this is the whole new awareness that's coming on, spiritual thing, and like I said, a revelation. And if anybody, you know, reads the Bible, doesn't read the Bible, I don't give a shit if you believe in the Bible, like if you don't believe in the Bible, cool. If you're whatever you are, if you're a Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Jainism, Taoism, whatever the fuck you are, that's cool. But understand the stories that you're learning, especially when it comes to the Bible, that's a story about you. Take those stories esoterically and actually read them and understand them and know that this is a story really about you and how you can make your life better. Don't take it literally, you know, because you take a lot of shit literally going on that happens in these books. I mean, shit, a lot of stuff tells you literally go fucking kill somebody. So you don't do every damn thing. But let's get more back to these comments though.
Now, to be honest, brother Scientist Nyne, a lot of our people were so solely indoctrinated, and forced indoctrination turned into family tradition to where now anything come out about Cat Williams, you know, and what's the other cat? The Jaguar, right? Anything comes out fucked up about them, what they really been doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up, man. We believe, wait a minute, what's this we friendship? What's this we? Niggas always looking for a savior.
Oh,
Self
yes.
is the best one to rely on.
Yes.
I'm getting all the game that I can from whoever I come across, but they're no way, shape, or form my fucking leader.
Thank you. You hit something on the thing. I believe, again, going back to King's Dream and Our Nightmare, one thing that black people have been indoctrinated with, and this is going to go into our next on one of my next podcast shows where we have been enslaved by religion. And I mean that in the sense of we always have to look for a savior. We have a savior complex. And I'm not saying that the only savior that anybody ever fucking needs is yourself. Even if even Jesus told you that shit. He said, I'm not your savior. You're your own savior. I don't know what scripture that is, and I just, for those that probably listen to Reverend Ike or whatnot, he even said that, and I gotta look for the scripture or whatnot, because I'll talk about it in the next podcast show. But even he said that. Now, how's a savior of a religion gonna tell you that? I'm not your savior. Save your damn self. Come on now, people. You are supposed to save your damn self and not look outside of you. For example, if you have, and for anybody that lifts weights, you know, I do a lot of fitness or whatnot. And let's say you're in the gym and you're bench pressing and whatever you're bench pressing, I don't know, 300 pounds, right? You're bench pressing 300 pounds and the shit falls in your goddamn chest and you can't lift it up. You're tired, you're whatnot, right? You're screaming for damn help, someone help me, you know, God help me do this. Is that fucking weight going to lift itself off? No, it's not. Is anybody going to hear you and come running? Someone may hear you and come, but in that time frame, what's happening? That chest is pressing on, that weight is pressing upon your goddamn chest. And unless you do something about it, unless you roll that bitch forward, roll it back, turn it to the side or do whatever, it's going to lay on your damn chest and suffocate you. Meaning that unless you do something for yourself and your own fucking problem, it's going to kill you or it's going to harm you. You have to be your own savior. Now, I'm not saying that some of the decisions you make, yes, you probably need help from people. You know, yes, you probably need assistance or you need knowledge from certain people. Yes, I understand that, you know, but the point I'm trying to make is even if you understand the knowledge or you get them help, you still have to apply it. You know, even if somebody, you say, I need somebody to give me some money or somebody to help me with some damn money, you still got to take that money and do what you need to do with that money. If whatever somebody helps you or gives you a resource, that's what they're doing. They're giving you a resource. They're not fucking saving you. You're only applying the application of knowledge or utilization of that resource. So you really entail are your own savior in the first place. We've just been taught that you're not. And again, like I said earlier, even Jesus taught you you're not your own savior. I'm only come to wake you the fuck up and tell you that in the first place. And I go back to the movie. I always go back to the movie The Matrix. Morpheus said it to Neo himself. Of course they call him the one and all that type of stuff. But he said that pretty much when you wake yourself up, Neo asked him, well, when I had this power, am I able to, will I be able to dodge bullets? And Morpheus said to Neo himself, when it comes a time you're waking up, you won't even have to do that shit. And we look into the movie later on down the line, what was Neo doing? He died, right? He was killed or crucified. For people that really want to be esoteric, being a one, Neo knew he was died, he was crucified. Trinity, or you would say that the Trinity, brought him back to life. That's a whole nother conversation. But the point I'm making is, with his own self, he was able to stop the goddamn bullets with himself. Morpheus didn't come down and tell him to stop that shit. Trinity didn't tell him to stop that shit. He did it himself. He was his own goddamn savior. Even if you want to say Jesus, he saved him damn self. After he damn died, what did he do? We can say he went down to hell and took the keys and he rose his damn self. The point I'm making is, like Brother Truck saying, we need to stop getting out of complex of we need a savior. No, save your goddamn self. And then when you save yourself, then apply that knowledge to somebody else so they can save them damn selves. Even when you're on the airplane, what do they tell you? If the mask drops down, put the shit on yourself first, then help somebody else out. But people can get mad at me saying that shit though.
Hey, scientistnyne, want to hear something fucked up and crazy? Now, my birth sign is a so-called Aquarius. It's three parts of each sign.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of Aquarius is /Aquarius /Capricorn. The ending is Capricorn /Pisces. The middle is full-fledged.
Yeah.
I've always been told to show.
Sorry about that.
Wanted to know things and always ask questions.
Yeah.
Check this out. Since I've been, for a quarter of a century of my life, I've been researching my ass off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I come across the celebrities and how they be sacrificing their loved ones, using them as sacrificial lambs.
Yeah.
And a lot of the celebrities come up found dead, suicidal, or they found in a praying position over their bed. My mother's brother, this the only one living right now, he's very wealthy.
Yeah.
He has a 3-story mansion. His baby brother was found. Check this out on the next one.
Okay, let's definitely go into the next one.
Yeah, so my mother's only sibling is left living right now. Her only sibling, but he the last one left living. Mm-hmm. He's very wealthy. He had a mini mansion. Now he has a 3-story mansion with the elevator.
Wow.
But when I'm getting to him on the simple fact that some of these celebs found not on the bathtub ritual, but when they die, no one ever does it. They either kill themselves or some drug overdose.
Yes.
And some of them were being found dead in a praying position over their bed with some shit around their bed. My mother's baby brother, he was found dead and buried at a racetrack where he lived and worked at in a praying position over his bed with blood soaked all into the mattress. I think the one that's left living, I think he's a Mason and a Shriner.
Yeah.
For more fortune. You think I didn't get fucked over?
And you know what the sad part is? I believe that, and I know. I'm not saying I know the game. I'm not really in it, but I understand that. People be knocking people off. For that stuff. But hell, they even tell you that in the fucking movies. And I always tell people that movies and television shows always tell you the truth. We gotta stop looking at entertainment. We didn't watch. If anybody ever watched Game of Thrones, prime fucking example. I'm not sure if anybody watched it. I'm not sure if you watched it, brother, but Game of Thrones, anytime we come to royalty or whatnot, even we talk about Freemasonry or whatever, someone always knocks somebody else off. Hell, even the Disney movies. What happened in Lion King? The brother knocked off the damn brother and tried to kill the damn son. So there's always somebody sacrifice somebody else to try to get greater glory. And that's sad that has to happen like that.
Yeah, this is a salutations to the brother Scientist Nyne on this chat right now. I appreciate you dropping these gems and jewels and having this chat, because I am going back into the when this chat is over.
Yeah.
I wish I can send it to myself,
Yeah.
like I can go and I can go on YouTube and I can send a video to myself. If only this was like this. They need to update it to make it like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And but to realize that now, I didn't ask my mother's brother if he's a Mason or a Shriner, because it didn't get there for me to ask him yet.
Yeah.
But looking at how my mother's baby brother died, how he was found.
Yeah.
How he was found. Because he came through and he wanted to talk, but I was the only one there. And I just, hey, what's going on? And he had a look on his face like he knew something was going to happen. But on his bed in the praying position with blood soaked through the mattress, what was the blood? Why did they have to flip it to see it like that? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they even had to do all that. That's ooh. That's a tough pill to swallow there, brother. That really is.
Brother Scientist Nyne, you're going pretty hard. You're going pretty hard today with this righteous shit right here. When I would dive into the Jesus shit, my relatives on this earth, they didn't know nothing about no Cesare Borgia.
Yeah.
And I doubt they fucking do.
Oh yeah, they don't.
They didn't know nothing about no Enki and no Enlil.
Yeah.
Enlil being the god of the Bible.
Yeah.
I doubt they ever will.
Yeah.
Because they're in and of the world. They're NPCs.
Yeah.
If it ain't got nothing to do with no money going in their pocket and no food on their table or no material possessions that they can get and acquire, then they really could less give a fuck.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm the nigga they love to hate.
Yeah.
And it is the way it is. It hurts at the same time, but hence the saying, it hurts me more than it's gonna hurt them. It hurts me more than it's gonna hurt you. If you're an empath and you genuinely care, memories last ever.
Yeah.
It's a long time if you take the fall off the motherfucker forever.
Oh yeah. Actually, and for those that you heard his good brother drop some knowledge, Inky and Leo, just research, because I think the next podcast, when we talk about the religions have enslaved us, and I think at first we were much more spiritual people, and we've been, and everybody, this is not just us or black people, but everybody has been enslaved by religion, because you look, religion means to religios, or to bind, especially binding the mind, and it's keeping your spirit from connecting back to the pineal gland of your mind and really being in your subconscious mind to make you the gods that he or ye or she is. But you mentioned some good figures that a lot of people went over people's head who doing research, and Cesar Borgia and all that stuff. There's so much of stuff that we have been lied to, and everything's in a sense being revealed, because we have to understand that if you can keep somebody bound down by what you teach them, whether it be education, whether it be spiritual, religious, whether it be financial, whether it be even health-wise, you will enslave that person. Like I said, 1865, in sense, ended the physical bonding or physical bondage of people, but really it didn't transfer it, because now what's your slavery to people? Most people's slavery is they go to work every day. I'm not knocking, and again, I'm not knocking anybody who goes to work, because like myself, before I decide to leave my job, it is slavery. You go to work for a bullshit pension, for a bullshit pay, for long hours. You get sick, you get stressed out. You come home, you probably fight with your wife or your husband or your spouse. You get mad at your child, whatnot. And again, although we're not physically bound in chains in a sense, you're still going through the same aspect. You're not living your life. So in that form, it is a slavery mindset regardless, but thank you, brother, for dropping some of that knowledge on people for that one.
Hey, Scientist Mind, you got me on one. You got me fucked up in the most positive way. You drop some on the Matrix. And remember on the second Matrix, when they were walking through Zion after they arrived there at the beginning, this teenager, he was following Neo, and he said, hey, I'll get your bags. And he said, thanks, Neo, you saved me. And he said, I told you, kid, I didn't save you. You saved yourself. Because when he went to him, they had the choice to either open their eyes or not.
Thank you.
You know, if I get the choice to take the red pill or the blue pill, man, I don't have to take any fucking pill.
Yeah.
You know, I can get myself up without taking any damn pill.
Yeah.
You know, what an age they're wearing right now. All this information here. And I want to know what time the fucking game come on, what time the weed dispensary open up, what time the function and the party start. I want to watch this fight. Man, it's all this information going on. I'm not hitting the ignore button.
Oh, absolutely. And I, you know, and I did forget that part. He did say, I didn't even realize that he did do that second way. It wasn't Mouse. God, what was the guy's name? I think Mouse was in the first one. But no, same thing. You're exactly right. He said, thank you, you saved yourself. And, you know, even we go back to the first movie where Morpheus, he said you can take the red pill or the blue pill, you know, we can look at that as that, yeah, you're going to wake yourself up now. What I'm going to teach you is you're going to go back. And a lot of people, I say this for anybody, once you hear something, you know, because again, faith comes through hearing first. The first actual attribute physically that you receive from anybody that is born is your hearing. It's not your sight, it's not your taste, it's not your feeling, you know. It's none of that. It is your hearing. That's why at a certain age, you know, your heart becomes first, but your hearing comes first. And again, if you want to say scriptural or biblical, faith comes through hearing. So what you hear, whether it be right or wrong, goes into your brain, and that's where discernment comes. So again, Morpheus came to him with the hearing. You know, as we again go back to King's dream. We go back to King's dream. We heard one thing, but instead of getting the red pill, we all opted for the blue pill. We went back to sleep instead of waking up when he gave that last speech, or the speech that we did not hear, or some of us heard. We rejected the red pill like Cyphers did. Oh no, man, I want to eat steak. You know, I want to chill. Back to we said with the celebrities. Give me the blue pill. Let me go back to sleep. I don't want to hear any of this stuff. I don't care. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I think a lot of us, even though the information out there, and a lot of people are becoming so-called even awakened to this information, a lot of people are going to go back to sleep because their minds can't handle that you've been lied to in the first place. And I think that's where a lot of people get. I think a lot of stuff, information even being put out there, because if you don't have the capacity to hold something, you're going to drop the shit. If you don't have the strength to lift something, you're going to drop the shit. If you don't even have the mindset to do something, you're going to fucking fail at it, you know, and we call that belief. And it all goes back to the same thing. If you don't believe something, if you hear it, you're not going to fucking believe the shit. And I think a lot of us are hearing shit and we're thinking it's entertainment-wise, you know, to entertain, or be enter, which means enter, and tain, meaning to contain. We entertain the notion of this shit being true, but we don't really grasp that, hey, they're actually telling this shit is true. And even when we go back, like I said, Inca and Enlil, the first thing, just research those names and research where they actually come. We've been told some of the truth in the first place, but we don't believe it can be true because it goes against what we've been taught or told in the first place. But let's go ahead and continue down this line.
Salutations to the scientist mind and the brother Coast to Ghost in the comment section. I see, hey, that Barney is wild, man, with that grill and the blinging.
Yeah.
I was offered to be a Freemason.
Yeah.
One of my great best friends, you know, he's up into that shit, the Mason and the Shriner.
Yeah.
I'm good, but me doing the research that I do, he came back to me and say, Rod, the research that you know at 10% being the highest, it's only a 4% chance that these guys know what you know. Yeah. Out of 10% being the highest, you know about 12% more than what they know. You doing your research.
Yes.
And I could have, but man, you feel me? I'm not paying something every once a month or every few times a year, and I'm not no fucking conformist, because I see how they be on him. Man, stop posting and talking about this. I'm not no conformist, man.
Yeah, and that's a bad thing too. When if you have information, and this goes to anybody, anytime you learn information that can benefit somebody else, I've always been a notion, and I think that's where I come to the scientist part, where learn information, research it, but also experiment with it first because you want to make sure it's valid. We go into the scientific method. You want to have your own hypothesis. You want to go to your testable and measurable, observable measurements. And from there, you can formulate either a theory or say that, hey, this is valid or this is reliable, results. Do this. So I'm like you. I learn a lot of information, but unless I deem it valid, because information is what it is, people, ladies and gentlemen. Information is information. It's data. Some data is great. Some data is good. Some data is shit. Some data should never been, should even would be heard of. So that's a whole part of, I say, experiment or deciphering through the stuff that you actually learn and research, right?
Salutations to the panel of listeners. This is now, me being a nigga or whatever on some nigga shit, I can just say anything happened to my uncle. Well, it was blood soaked in the mattress because he was terribly sick. He was throwing up.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling, like Jack told Helen.
Yeah.
People can also, you can take a pill or something can be shot up in you.
Oh, yeah,
you can
absolutely.
be forced to take something to where it'll dissolve away and it'll still pass off as natural causes.
Absolutely.
Hey, who the fuck knows?
Absolutely.
The thing is, I'm my only relative that's willing to dive down that rabbit hole. I'm that nigga in the back of that nigga with a giant rabbit suit on, booting them down that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Your mind is going to be the flashlight. Your pineal is going to be in the flashlight. I booted myself down that motherfucker. They talk shit about the wealthy uncle, but behind his back, talk about him like a dog.
Yeah.
They won't say nothing because they want that money. They co-signers and dick suckers.
And I think that's a lot of stuff that we see just when it comes to anybody, not say anybody, I'm not gonna, put everybody in this stuff, but a lot of the, like you said, the automatons or the NPCs, for anybody that doesn't know what they're non-playable characters or automatons, that means like people who are just robots or go automation on the program as you learn. That's what you're normally, that's what the program says. Let somebody talk shit and then let them do this and to keep it moving, or don't actually address how you feel, about that. And we see that not only by the stuff that we see, we also see in other people. And it's one thing that I believe some people are getting out of, but that's something that you actually choose to get out of though, too, as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get to these next comments.
Hey, scientists, to be earnest, how can I say? I'm the first bastard on my mother's side that was born, and I'm the first bastard on my father's side that was born. So what's the saying when a woman is pregnant? Don't stress that woman out. She be done miscarried and lost that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was almost lost. So when I was born, I had a horrible cry.
Mm-hmm.
I turned the tone of yellow,
yeah.
and I had to have life or death surgery. I was born with a tumor in my left kidney.
Uh-huh.
So I'm here for a reason. And the spiritual shit that I've seen,
yeah,
the motherfuckers just come to me on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking radio frequency.
Yeah.
To where I just be having a nagging nigga suspicion about so many things, and when they come out, not that I'm right, but I nailed it, I'm like, damn, I'm paying attention from now to fuck on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You hit one nail on the head, like I addressed earlier in this conversation. It was and people, everybody out there listening, TV land, the spirit is a whole different level, and I think that again through religion, through education, through hell, even what we didn't eat, we're not really taught the true power of what spirit actually is. We're taught the feel good method of spirit. We're not taught the power of spirit. We're taught that spirit is just. I mean, although it is an energy. Although it's the conscious and stuff, there's so much more to that. Which in the next podcast when we talk about the slavery religion, we're definitely gonna get into that spiritual talk.
Salutations, this is Brother Tarak. How can I say, since I'm a bastard, you feel me? I appreciate that.
Yeah.
When I say that to a religious, oh, you ain't a bastard, you a child of Jesus. And I'm like, when they say shit like that to me, I stopped even enlightening saying shit. I just, all right, whatever,
Yeah.
Like I was saying, since I'm the bastard, nothing was forced on me.
Yeah.
Not vegetables. If you don't like it, pick it out. That's supposed to be forced on children.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be told why.
Yeah.
But since nothing was forced on me, I wasn't allowed to do nothing. You can't play sports because you got one kidney. You can't play a saxophone because you got one kidney,
Yeah.
which has nothing to do with it at all.
Yeah.
So since nothing was forced on me, I went to church to build the family because they was happy. But I also got to dive my mind in what I chose to. They didn't. I think had I would have been appreciated and embraced, I would have been.
You know what? I think that's absolutely true. But one thing you did at the end of your comment that you said is that you weren't, I won't say indoctrinated, but you weren't told what to learn. So you actually had the freedom to explore. And I think that's where people are given the choice to explore. You know, you learn more. Definitely learn more.
Hey, scientists, check this shit out. I've been in the astral many times that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
It was to the point to where I was actually going over there to do missions.
Uh-huh.
And when I awakened, I knew what I was doing. It was times where I got caught up and I opened my physical eyes and I said, fuck. And to the point to where when I would go on missions, when I got over there, I would shake my hand.
Yeah.
And if I had 6 or 7 fingers, I knew that I was in the astral. I knew that I was on my mission. It was one time that I was over there before my mother passed. I don't know where I was at. It was brighter than white. And I was clean cut. Had on my Dickies, had on my black and white chucks, had on the shirt.
Yeah. And
I saw myself leaning in, nodding like to say, yeah. I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but I heard a man voice saying, hella calmly and cool, you will not remember this. I remember everything up to there, but that point, but at whatever I was being told, that part was muted and removed.
Oh yeah, that's the drink. And see, I almost feel like I got to make the show now and create it and talk about it now. But I'm going to say that one. I'm just going to say, but yeah, the dream world, the spirit world. That's I think what people don't understand the whole thing with the dream world is that although it's subconscious and some things are dreamed by what your mind focuses on, a lot of that stuff is the spirit world trying to tell you, you know, either a mission, either, you know, esoterically, or you are actually experiencing a whole nother life, or your other soul experience a whole nother life as you sleep. Because again, the soul is infinite. So it ain't just like you go to sleep and wake up. No, it's around, it's moving, it's traveling, you know. But that's interesting, brother. Definitely got to touch base on that one. Salutations to the brother scientist. Man, you totally with the shits. I see the Mason clubs today with our people, like the average pastor in a black church in our hood. They're fucking Mason and a / Shriner, or just a Mason. Yeah. You know, most of them are. Tell them this. They're not gonna throw that out there. But if they're pulled to the side and asked, they're gonna say something about it. You know. But I see these with our brothers as being Freemasons and Shriners. I see this as a fucking men's lounge. Yeah. And they married. This is just to get away from their family, to get away from their wives for a few hours. Yeah. You know, and then they're going back to the house with the shit. But I was also told that when they do their rituals, they got to go home and rehearse the shit so they can do it by heart in their head. And one of the white Masons came up there and said, wow, we read from the book. Y'all actually got it in your head by heart? Yep. Yeah, it's realistically nothing more than the goddamn social club. And it's funny you said they rehearse it and all this stuff. That's all it really is. And fraternities, honestly, are the same way. I'm not saying that you don't have some that don't really do what this was to do, but that's basically what it is. A goddamn drink, liquor, drive cab type shit in a nutshell. When you said that automatons, man, you rattled my mind. You rattled my memory. I remember about 5 years ago, down there 6 or 7, I was going hard online. Yeah. Motherfucking automatons, I was going hard. Yeah. Motherfucker say something about a celebrity, idolatry. Yeah. Idolatrous motherfucker. Man, I've calmed down since then. Yeah. Because, man, when I was on what I was on, I got like 5 Facebooks deleted. Yeah. About the same amount of number of Instagrams. And I was on Instagram on one of my last ones, and I was screenshotting and cropping out pictures of Jesus, and I say, if this motherfucker is so-called your God, wouldn't it be blasphemous to always yell out whether somebody wins or loses games or hurt themselves or see something good? Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. My whole page went white. Deleted my shit. Oh, no, back in the day, Instagram was terrible back in the day because, like I said, I had got my profile Well, my profile got monked up. And for those that out there listening, see Instagram, they're a little bit more. Even this platform, they're a little bit more lenient. YouTube definitely. YouTube, Twitter's a whole nother conversation. Those motherfuckers on Twitter, or excuse me, X now. Anybody out there that has an Twitter or X, they're just wild. Them motherfuckers are wild. Like Elon Musk, he has a lot of they got some crazy shit on their Twitter. If you want to find some shit, go on their Twitter. But yeah, back in the day, beforehand, you used to get. I think they probably. I'm not sure they still do it. You know, the whole shadow ban on. So they may or may not, depend on what you're talking about. But post, I would say 2020, especially when that whole COVID stuff happened, they were even before then. Oh no, you say anything that was against anything, your shit would get deleted or it would get blocked off, and it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. The troll, and people think trolls are bad now. Nah, the trolls of the back when day, they have nothing compared to the trolls. Like it got so bad one time when I first got on not Instagram, I got on Twitter. This is like 2012. I had watched one movie. It was Zeitgeist. I watched that movie and I got on it, and I started talking, and then this guy, well, I guess he was white because his profile picture was white. Man, buddy trolled me day and night just on everything. It got so far, I just quit. I just deleted my shit. I deleted my shit, and yeah, it's funny you said that where people used to get profiles get deleted. Oh yeah, it was bad. Nowadays, unless you just say some off the wall, I'm talking about like off the wall type shit, like you're about to go murk somebody or something like that. You can get away with saying a lot of shit now on Instagram. Damn, you can say what the fuck you want to on Twitter. Facebook, I'm not exactly sure. I don't be on it like that, but the social media has very much evolved what you can and can't say. You know, definitely.
Salutations to scientists. Yeah, even though I wasn't embraced, there's an African proverb that reads, the child that is not embraced by the family will burn it down and feel its fucking warmth.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Shaka Zulu. To be honest, man, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
When they wanted nothing to do with me. You know, I wasn't allowed to sign up for anything, man. I wasn't. But my sibling was. And out of my mother's children, I'm number 4 out of 5. Out of my father's children, I'm number 3 out of 9. And it's like, damn, man. You know, it was tough.
Yeah.
I cut off people who already cut me off. They cut me off to where they still call and ask for help and want to gossip.
Yeah.
But I said, man, I'm going to show you how you cut a motherfucker off.
Yeah.
Automatons and Negro bots.
That's a good one. Negro bots. I'm gonna definitely had to use that one. That Negro bots one.
Brother, I've been contacted so many times. Our family are in them damn chariots. They done got at me. At first, I was scared.
Yeah.
Because they was trying to beam me up. But it was as I was getting pulled, I saw a thick tree.
Yeah.
With a thick stump and a thick branch, and I held on to it. And when they realized I wasn't trying to let go, they let me go.
Yeah.
But as I was running down the way through the hood, I heard a sister hollering, and I saw her being beamed up, and they beamed her all the way up. She was twirling in the air, yelling, help, help.
Yeah.
And I saw some brothers on the corner, and I said, hey, y'all see that? And they looked up. They didn't see shit. Everybody don't have that fucking sight. And that was also letting me know over there, man, you the only one like you. There's others like that sister they got. But, man, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like everybody doesn't have the gift of that sight, or everybody doesn't have that spiritual gift, or even able to see what you see. You know, definitely.
Man, brother, the entities that's done got at me. I remember everybody was knocked out at the laws, not the police laws, but the in-laws, and I'm the only one up. And when I decided to cut off the TV and lay back in the bed and go to sleep, as soon as I laid down, because I sleep on my back, I felt the presence. How did I know that this was a presence that I felt in the hallway at the bathroom door? A wave of energy hit me. Room. Now whatever's in the hallway at the bathroom door is at the bedroom door on the outside. Room. Now it's in the inside of the room with my woman and I, but it's in a dark corner, but the corner is more darker than dark.
Oh, yeah.
I slam myself on the bed on my back with the blankets over my eyes, and I turn to the side with my eyes closed tight with the blanket over them. This being is at the foot of my bed, and this woman is at the side of my bed. Why I can see through my fucking eyelids, and they was both talking fast. with bass, and all I heard him saying that fast was, is he, is he, is he.
Oh, so it sounds. Let me get this one. Let me get this one.
I'm gonna be honest. Ever since they deleted my last page, when I came with a question about the Jesus name being said like that. I didn't make a statement. I asked a question.
Yeah.
Whole page. My partner hit me up. Rock, man, what's up with your page? I said, what? He said, man, it's gone. And I went to click on my Instagram icon that takes me straight to my page, and it went to the sign in. You got to sign in. I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah.
He said, man, I type up your name and it says unavailable and it's straight white.
Yeah.
I screenshot it and sent it to me through my phone. I said, God damn. Well, when I went, I got to sign back in, and it said page don't exist.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That used to be the absolute worst. Like back in the damn days, it used to be the damn worst when the page get deleted. That happened, like I said, that happened in my old profile, my good page. But no, but before I leave, got the broadcast, the address. I'm definitely gonna address it. My next I'm definitely going to address in my next podcast show with the whole spirituality and religion, keeping us enslaved. That thing that you said, you saw like the energy and the movement and the presence, the shadow figure and all that stuff. If anybody's unaware of sleep paralysis or anything, anybody who's black, and I can say it's anybody who's black or Negro, colored, indigenous, African American, whatnot, that presence or that melanin that you have in you, whatever stress that you go under, it actually, think of it like a diamond, right? Or coal. When coal comes under a lot of stress, it becomes more pressurized and temperaturized, and then it comes to diamond. So the same thing as if you are sleeping and you have a lot of stress, or whatever you may be going through, and you can start feeling a presence, especially moving around at nighttime when you're sleeping, that's your melanin being activated, which you can see the other side or feel the other side, especially, whatever presence, entity, spirits going around, because I've experienced that under a lot of stress, sleep paralysis, where you'll hear a motherfucker sit on the damn bed, like, ain't shit damn there, or you'll feel it on you, or, you'll beam up to a whole nother dimension and see the damn lights. Oh, trust me, bro, I've had that shit happen to multiple times, more when I got under stress, but that is, and I'm gonna tap into that on my next podcast show, listening in. I'm gonna clear up next little comments and stuff. But we thank everybody listening. Please make sure you click that link above the head. Definitely support the How You Living show with Scientist Nyne the Sage, aka the Jot. Basically the B.Y.O.B. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit more prior to in this broadcast. But let's appreciate Brother Tarot and the comments and the conversation that we have had, and definitely get our brother a follow. With the information he has been dropping on here.
Hey, what's up, Rock? What's up, Scientist Nyne? I'm just here listening. Hope y'all having a good day. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Key, for preaching, the jumping in a conversation and stuff. We've had a definitely good conversation on this. I know we're coming down to the end of the show, but if you want to go back in and listen in, rewind it, we've touched on a multitude of topics, especially with the whole thing with King's Dream, MLK, Dr. King, with becoming our nightmare. Definitely. But let's get these comments.
Hey, fam, how can I say, if your social media page has not been hacked or deleted or fucked up, you ain't smoking, drinking, snorting, or doing that shit right.
Yeah.
So, and my woman always say, man, you be rattling motherfuckers all across the earth. I remember I posted something and some Australian motherfucker got at me, left me a voice message.
Yeah.
Hey, mate, you got a fucking problem with me, mate? Fuck you up, mate. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about in your post. I say, God damn. Then another motherfucker from another language hit me up. That motherfucker said some crazy shit to me, telling me all. I said, I don't know what the fuck that shit mean, but I rubbed the motherfucker the wrong way, so I must be doing some shit right. And about the motherfuckers, them entities, saying, is he? It took me years to figure that out with my chakra working. Maybe they was saying.
Let's get to that next one, maybe.
Hey, my bad, just from the last one. Them entities that was at my bedside saying, is he?
Yeah.
They was talking fast, like fast forward.
Yeah.
But they was so loud in my ear, because only I can hear them.
Yeah.
So I didn't know nothing about frequencies or anything back then. I didn't know nothing about empaths. I just knew that I could see stuff at times.
Yeah.
Since I was a child, I say, a teen.
Yeah.
But now since I done my work for 15 years plus.
Yeah.
And now that I done did I'm still continuing shadow work as an everyday process.
Yeah.
And building through my chakras and shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm got a nagging nigga suspicion when they was chanting, is he? More than likely, they had to been saying, is he one of these old reincarnated souls? Is he one of these old souls? Is he one of these old beings? Yup. And I'm awaken as many as I fucking can.
Oh, that's profound right there. That definitely is profound. Even hearing that, it makes sense what you said. That's some good shit to hear, brother. That really is.
Zakiah, what's going on, fam? I see your ass up in there, sock you on your solar plexus. Buck down.
Oh yeah. Well, we definitely, appreciate you, Zakiah, coming in, Brother Tarek coming in, on the other side with Scientist Nyne, the Sage, aka the Jot, checking out how you are living from the Mango Kush podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. Again, that link above my head, for anybody out there listening on YouTube or anybody out there listening on Instagram or anybody out there listening on Apple, Google, or whatever frequency you're listening on, definitely click on that link or beacons.ai/scientist9. Again, that's beacons.ai/scientist9. That's scientist, N-Y-N-E-Y, because that's how the fuck I want to spell it. But definitely, support the cause. And one thing I was saying earlier, BYOB, that's my own ministry, I could say. That's my own little, mindset, is build your optimal body. And again, body is not more than just your body. It's more of your mind and how your energy goes. But before I tap on out on here, my whole thing, and like you were saying, bro, I like to definitely help everybody out build their own body, but especially what we call the black man, the Moor man, the indigenous man, the Negro man. So I have a heart for that, especially helping men out in general, but definitely, that for a standpoint, please make sure y'all, keep yourself healthy out there. Everybody keep yourself safe. Make sure you are tripping yourself to knowledge. Make sure you're eating good food. Make sure you are traveling. Make sure that you are learning and doing the best that you can always damn do. And if not, just fucking live life the best way you can fucking live it. But before we tap on out, I always like to say this one little thing that we always want to say every single day, because it just makes every single day just the great way that it is. Always remember, drown it out within the music.